Alright, welcome back to the Bacchus OSL round of 36 Group F. We're in Game 2 here of RuBy versus EffOrt. Pretty exciting game there, very fast-paced, very fast Zerg game. RuBy coming out pretty strong in the beginning, with then EffOrt being willing to overwhelm with fantastic micro with defilers and swarms. For those that aren't a Zerg player, or well, I'm sure everybody's played Zerg at one point, it is really hard to do that, and EffOrt was microing multiple defilers, got a huge trail of swarms right into RuBy's natural, and was able to simply overwhelm him. RuBy might have still had a chance, but decided he didn't want to waste probably energy on the first game, and decided to go to the second game, which is on Outsider. And what do you think going into this one, Steve?
Well, like most matchups, TVZ is one of those matchups where unit control is everything, and it didn't come down to really a build order loss or win the last game. It was all unit control, and early on, you know, EffOrt had a kind of hard time just not paying attention to his units out in the middle a little bit. RuBy did a good job of taking down that extra expansion, but in the end, EffOrt just pulled it together, and like you said, just out-microed, I guess you could say, RuBy. Just his control was just really good with his units. On Outsider, I don't know. There hasn't been a ton of matches on this. We haven't really seen mech. I don't know if I've even seen mech on this map before, but I gotta think it's gonna be more medic marines. At least in the last series, in this series, we saw a lot of aggressive Zerg builds where it was more 2-hatch or 3-hatch with a hatchery in your main. So it looks like Zergs like to get it done a little early on this map and don't like to expand as much, but they certainly have the ability to. It's just the counter to that is Terran can just make dropships and go around with medic marines and just harass the crap out of your bases. So we'll see if we're going to have a short or long game here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, one thing we've also seen, and I mentioned it last time, I don't know if it was correct, I'm not sure if you can, by burrowing, trick a lurker or a hydralisk through minerals, but we have seen it on this map with Zerglings, and it takes some time because you have to burrow and trickle Zerglings around the side of the map, but we have seen that used fairly effectively as a harass against Terran to be able to pick off a few SCVs and obviously get a scout when the front is guarded by, say, siege tanks or something along those lines. So we could see something like that going into play. As far as Terran is concerned, the middle of the map is partially buildable. You could very well do some sort of hard push if you did want to go mech, but once again, as Steve said, I don't think we're going to see that. We haven't seen it yet, at least in these sets we've been casting. We are going to see an overpull for EffOrt.
9-pull, actually.
Or 9-pull with a drone trick there by getting the gas and then canceling it. He can get one extra drone, putting him at 10 being able to go 10 drones total while still getting the pool.
So again, we're seeing an aggressive opening by Zerg on this map. It's certainly not a map. You know, it's a map where you could do 12 hatch, okay, I think, but again, we're seeing an aggressive a 9-pull actually. I think we saw overpull the last couple games, but yeah, 9-pull is really aggressive. So it looks like, again, you know, the Zerg players just feel that it's better to get quick lings out on this map and be able to harass a little bit early on. Just seeing some funny signs there.
Well, and this isn't a huge map, it's a 3-player map, and you know, realizing that it's a straight shot. I mean, if you can get Zerglings, you know, once you can quickly, and by the way, EffOrt is scouting in the right direction, so he, of course, knows where RuBy is. But, I mean, you'll see these lings, they just go straight across. So there's nothing to guard them, there's no hills, there's nothing to confuse the lings. So I think a fast build is really good on a map like this, and being able to get it in, and if you know, have a Terran player that isn't able to block his ramp, but EffOrt is smart. Or I'm sorry, RuBy is smart. RuBy, once again, is looking good in the early game here, doing a nice little savior arc with SCVs, and is going to be able to fend this off pretty well. I'm always amazed. Before seeing Pro StarCraft, I never even imagined actually using workers as offensive weapons, but SCVs have so much armor, and oh, there he is. He's able to get 3 there, so the arc was not needed. So, yeah, good job. No gas yet, so obviously we're not going to see anything crazy at this point. It looks like we are going to see the expansion coming up a little bit earlier, and I think he's fine in having the leeway to do that, although it might be a little bit tough to defend, but we'll just kind of have to see. He is going to get tanks a little bit later because of this.
Well, very, very standard one barracks into expand, very standard Terran opening. And everything right now, timing-wise, seems pretty normal to me. Again, EffOrt try to put a little pressure on there, but RuBy doing a good job of holding it up. We're just going to see the gas go up now. And I think at least for the meantime, we're going to see just a lot of economy going on here. EffOrt does now have his lair going up, but he hasn't put up a third hatchery either. So again, you know, I'm not sure if he's just going to stick with 2 hatcheries or what he's going to do, but certainly going to get some kind of tech up pretty quick, whether it's, you know, 2 hatch mutas or lurkers. And he definitely is going to want to take out these scouting SCVs though, because he's not going to want to give up any information. I think he is going to put down his tech building pretty quick. See if he uses those 2 Zerglings to block the ramp or what he does. And no, that SCV is going to get in,
man.
And he's going to see the lair, which, I mean, he's going to know the lair is coming up. We'll see if he goes down to the other side there just to check for a 3rd expansion or a 3rd base.
Yeah, it looked like EffOrt was scouting the Panda Bear guy off in the middle, which is actually trapped on his own little plateau. So if anybody was to kill them, it would be completely BM, because there's no way to actually accidentally kill the Panda Bear guy. So they're kind of pointing out that we do have a drone on the right side. It looks like that's going to be the 3rd expansion. Not a bad idea, because the only way to get to that is by air. So if he did get a Nidus Canal up, then he would be able to transfer units over there if he did get like dropped on. Which we haven't seen really a lot of early drop play on this map. I think this map would tailor very well to drop play, but we really haven't seen it. I think the Terran has been confident enough with just going with Medic Marine pushes because, once again, kind of the same reason you get early lings. You can just push right out and go right across the map, and it's harder to defend even with lurkers because they get so spread out. We do see an attack going in here. Nice micro by RuBy being able to fend that off, and you know, not getting gas right away at his expansion, so once again, even more proof that we're not going to see anything crazy, no crazy teching at this point. But there is the Spire. So the tech choice is going up for now for EffOrt, and that was not scouted by RuBy, I don't believe. I could be wrong, but so far we are going to see some Mutalist play coming up here.
I think RuBy's going to be well prepared, though. I mean, you do see him getting down the scanner and a bunker, so he may not be sure the mutas are coming, but he's already got his engineering bay up, so he should be building turrets. He should be building turrets now, actually.
Yeah,
so
right now.
It looks like there's an SCV going out there. Okay, he does have a turret coming up next expansion. I think his turret timing is going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There's the mutas morphing, so EffOrt is going for that 3-hatch muta. You can see his 3rd hatchery they point out in the top right. And a little pesky Zergling back here. That's kind of annoying, but not going to do too much.
Stim up those Marines.
But it may delay that turret, but it looks like RuBy has plenty of turrets up, so I think he's going to be fine. So again, I think this is actually going to get into a later game.
Yeah, I agree. I think this... Whoops, sorry about that. We like trying to cover up the time bar when we watch these videos. That way we can't see how long the game is going to go for. So Mutalists are going to come. I don't think they're going to be very successful at all. Obviously, there's a lot of turrets up, and I mean those turrets will get taken out. Great job, RuBy, bringing up the Marines here. I mean, the Mutalisks, more than anything, will just make it hard for RuBy to take another expansion, but he has no reason to because he's Terran and he's got 2 bases and he's fine. He'll pick up the gas eventually once he starts trying